Hey, what is going on, crypto people? Happy Friday. Happy Friday to each and every one of you. Listen, this market is just something right now. FLR to 50 cents, says one guy on X, big FLR community member. FLR FLR token to 50 cents. Throw when F assets go live, some interoperability, staking, yield, 50 cent. 50 cent XRP, I mean 50 cent FLR. Yeah, that's interesting. That is an interesting thing to say. 50 cents. We'll go over that post as well. What's that with Hashkey? It's an XRP fund. You don't have to hold XRP though. Like you get exposure, but not having to have it. That's interesting. We'll cover that as well. Market is cray right now. Bitcoin is still ranging in at 84, what, 83 to 85,000. I don't know. I don't know, fam. I don't know. I don't know. We'll go with that Hashkey XRP fund as well. Gotta love it. Gots to love it. What's going on right now, Flare fam? What's going on? 50 cent FLR token. What the world? That is interesting. We'll go over that post. My guy Simon Dixon had some very interesting thoughts about what's going on with the market. What's going on with the market right now and all of the kind of stuff like that. His whole deal is follow the money. So we'll go over that and see what's good. My my coffee cup doesn't seem to be wanting to cooperate here lately. So we'll go over that as well. What's going on, XJT? Yeah. So FLR right now is returning 44% for staking it. Really? 44% for staking. Is that right? 44%? Are you sure? Are you sure about that, XJT? That's an awesome number. I staked for a little bit, no longer staking. That's an awesome number. Oh, XJT is like, yeah, for sure. I'm certain. Wow, that's a great number, isn't it? Do you know? I don't think so, but I don't think that when you wrap and delegate or stake, that's not part of the circulating supply numbers, right? Like the number of oh, you're talking about from Scepter, gotcha. Um uh what I want to say. What I want to say, I saw those numbers yesterday. I was over in Scepter yesterday, XJT, saw the number 43 point something percent for staking, turning that FLR to SFLR, stake Scepter FLR. But there's a big number of, what is it, 60 something percent? I think it's 67, 68% of FLR is staked and or delegated. It's a big number. It's a big number. What's going on, Devon, Steve? Good evening to you, bro. Appreciate you checking in. Right. Appreciate you checking in for sure. Look, we're gonna go over some that 50 cents thing from my guy. I think it's King Drago who put that out. We'll cover that as well. I'm like, you know what? I need to add more. I was over on SparkDex and Kinetic and Scepter yesterday, and I'm like, I need to add more liquidity. I'm a big fan of one particular liquidity pool. Um, because it's a long-term play for me. I think it just makes completely more sense, complete sense, and I need to just add more to it. The reason why I brought up the circulating supply thing, someone was asking on X, what is the actual circulating supply of FLR tokens? And I don't know the number. Some keep saying that it's 63 billion circulating. My question is, what does wrapping and delegating, is that a form of taking FLR off the market? I don't think wrapping and delegating, I don't think wrapping is, but is delegating and staking? Maybe it's not. I don't know. But in any case, we'll go over that. We'll go over those numbers. Oh, wow. By the way, I want to let you guys know that the old money doesn't want you to win. Merch is out. Keyless, how are you, miss? I'm gonna share this real quick before we go over the numbers. The merch is out, Keyless. The merch is out. Old money doesn't want you to win. We have it here. You can see here with the CryptoCeej, and we have it without the CryptoCeej here. I'm thinking Devon Steve will look good in this hat right here. I'm thinking, I get a sense that Devon will look good in this hat. This is my favorite, and just can't wait for this thing to come in. Like, what's going on right now? This is going to be my favorite one, the premium ring spun cotton t-shirt. Let me highlight that one. And we have that in with the CryptoCeej name on it and without the CryptoCeej. Let me share the one without the CryptoCeej on it. Loving these colors. Loving these colors here. This is black. Check out the red one here. If my laptop will, there's the red. I like that red. This is an interesting color as well. I like that red, man. I'm telling you. Red with that black hat, Devon Steve. This is an interesting cover. Heavy metal. That is an interesting color. Color. Yeah, I can see rocking some nice, I don't know, maybe cargo pants or something. I like this heavy metal. And then there's the one that I think is going to be the most popular. I don't know, but this I'm looking at this color. It's called a military green, and I'm just thinking the camo, having the camo gear of some sort, rocking that. Maybe it's the beige one. Maybe it's the one that has more black in it. It would be a good look right there. And then there is this is called dark chocolate. That looks good as well, but I'm liking the material here with the premium ring spun cotton tee. I'm liking that. And this the message obviously is the most important thing, right? Because when we say old money doesn't want you to win, we also understand that that's okay because we are winning. And why are we still winning? Because we're in this new financial system, right? That's what I would say. But that's okay though, because you and I, we're already winning, right? I think it's so important to understand and to resonate a message that we understood. We understand that the system was created against us. That financial system was manipulated and coerced by old money, the Rockefellers, the Morgans of the world, creating the Federal Reserve Act and the central bank system that the United States government decided to cave into because of the financing of the war, and didn't realize, quite honestly, quite frankly, that they had been hoodwinked and bamboozled. And to pay the person who was going to be the victim would be U.S. citizens. That's the facts. And they, my friends, are indisputable. All right, let me refresh CoinGecko and go over these numbers real quick. What's going on, Keyless? How are you? Hope you're doing well. Oh, wait a minute. And there's unisex versions as well. I think this one is unisex. Yes, that's classic unisex tee right there. Let me go back here. It's going to go through each color as I go back. Yeah, and yeah, that's right. So classic unisex tee as well. You can get the different colors as well: the black, the red, the metal, and the military green as well. So yeah, love it. All right, let me go over this. Make sure I put that link in the chat for you guys if you want to represent the Old Money and CryptoCeej channel. $84,000 for Bitcoin. All right. So according to CoinGecko, the total cryptocurrency market cap is at $2.75 trillion. It's down 2% in the last 24 hours. Bitcoin is trading at $84,500 again. On the 30-day, Bitcoin's up 3.5%. Ethereum is under $1,600 again. And on the 30-day, Ethereum is down 16%. XRP is trading at $2.07 again. on the 30-day XRP is down 8%. Solana is trading at $133. Well, I was just $100, right? Not too long ago. And on the 30-day, Solana is up nearly 9%. Dogecoin's trading at 15 cents. And on the 30-day, it's down 5.5%. It's amazing how Doge continues to stay. I'm just, no one really thinks about it. I mean, if you take out Tether and USDC, Dogecoin is number 7 in market cap. That is fascinating to me that still remains there, right? No one thinks about it. No one thinks about this meme coin is in the top 7 in the entire digital asset space. And the entire digital asset space. So is trading at $2.11. $2.11. And on the 30-day, SWI is down 7% on the 30-day. Put this in the chat for you guys. If you'd like to get the old money merch, let me know. And if there's any issues or challenges, if you'd like to see a new color, let me know. Have a good day, guys. Back to the grind. All right, XJT. XJT, be safe out there, bro. Be safe out there, my friend. Let me go over this first article on X. It's interesting to me. See here. In case you missed it, FLR Networks is changing the game. So I got this post here from X Founders Camp, X Founders Bootcamp, and Startup Reality on X. It says the X Founders Bootcamp Season 4, powered by FLR Networks. This fall, we're teaming up with FLR Networks, the layer 1 platform for DeFi with non-smart contract assets built on enshrined data protocols to supercharge 10 pioneering Web3 and Web3 plus AI startups through an immersive in-person bootcamp in Bali. Over 4 intense weeks, founders will gain the network, strategy, and visibility they need to scale their bold, future-shaping solutions. Interesting. Investors and ecosystem access. Throughout the program, you'll connect directly with top investors, VCs, and the FLR ecosystem leaders who are actively funding and supporting the next wave of decentralized innovation. Wow. That's a smart move by FLR Networks for sure. See where their head's at, Keyless. You see where their head is at. Season 4, powered by FLR. I like it. The X Founders Bootcamp. I mean, I love everything about that. I think that is pretty freaking awesome. Just on a side note, Solana's led all chains in Q1 of 2025 in DEX trading, claiming 39.6% of the market share. 40% of the market share in Solana. Up and to the right of the network adoption curve, like no other. More users on Solana than Ethereum. Right? If you dare take a look at DeFiLlama.com and check out what the volume is and what platforms are leading that volume, you'll see that it is not Pump.fun, the meme coin DApp. You will see that it is not Pump.fun. It's viable DEXs, lending markets, DEX aggregators. That are leading in that TVL. Or you can just believe the hype on X without doing your own due diligence. On DeFi Llama is a click away to find out the truth. If you want to know it, some people don't want to know it. Some people don't want to own up to, perhaps I looked at this the wrong way. You know, perhaps I looked at it the wrong way. Uh, yeah. Monthly decentralized exchange trading volume by chain. The reality is there's just a lot of DeFi going on Solana. Lots of DeFi going on Solana because it's fast and it's inexpensive. And there are places to do lots of fun things. Lots of valuable or viable and or viable fun things on the Solana blockchain. This kind of is what it is, right? Look at it says here, Justin in Solana 20, just this 24-hour DEX volume. I mean, it's not the end of the world. It's 24 hours. This says quarter one. So this is quarter one. So, but this is the 24-hour numbers and that particular day, 7-day changes. So interesting to see Sui so early in the game in the top 10 to me is very, very fascinating. So just in case, I mean, if you want me to go to DeFi Llama and prove to you that it's not pump.fun, just let me know. I'll do it. So Keyless, I don't know if you heard. Pookie, did you guys hear about this? Hashkey Capital is launching Asia's first XRP tracker fund with Ripple as an early investor. This marks a major step in expanding institutional access to XRP, the third largest token by market cap. Okay, Hashkey Capital, huh? Introducing the Hashkey XRP Tracker Fund. Designed to track XRP's performance, the fund provides professional investors with regulated institutional grade exposure without the complexities of direct ownership, custody, or trading. So they're not really they're not entering into the digital asset space. So why XRP? XRP is at the forefront of cross-border payments, enabling faster, cheaper, and more efficient transactions than traditional systems like SWIFT, as well as tokenization of RWAs on a native blockchain, the XRP ledger. It's already used by financial institutions and enterprises worldwide. A first in Asia, but not the last, the Tracker Fund is Hashkey Capital's third Tracker Fund, following its Bitcoin and Ethereum's ETFs. So, a strategic partnership with Ripple. Beyond the fund, Hashkey Capital and Ripple are exploring new investment products, cross-border DeFi solutions, and tokenization, including the possibility of launching a money market fund on the XRPL. That is the win right there. That's the win. A money market. That's Aave. Aave is a money market fund. That's kinetic in sense, in essence. A place, a money market where you can lend in your assets and you can borrow based upon the assets that you have. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Ripple is seeding the initial investment. With Ripple as an anchor investor, this fund makes a deepening collaboration between two leaders in the blockchain space. The goal, bringing more institutional capital into regulated XRP products and the broader digital asset ecosystem. Now, if they launch this thing, and it is this money market fund, and it's very, very similar to what is the RWA play killing the game right now? I have to look it up. RWA on Ethereum has the Biddle fund. Why can't I remember that name of that? Undo. So if they're going to go ahead and launch a kind of a similar version of Undo, as opposed to Aave, right? Aave, you and I and institutions can hop on Aave, right? If they do something like that, awesome. But if they're going to make this only available to these institutional stuff, I will. The second it launches, I'm gonna be all over it and saying shame on Ripple and Hashkey. Shame on you for doing that. Because if Aave can launch something that is accessible for everyone, so should you. So we'll see what Ripple decides to do with that money market fund. how to get involved. Reach out to Hashkey for details. All right. So possible money, again, a possible, including the possibility of launching a money market fund on the XRPL. Don't tell me about volume. You know, it's going to be volume on the XRPL. Are you giving access to DeFi? Are you doing decentralized stuff, or are you catering only to institutions? Again, and throwing shade at retail. That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. All right, let me get back to the chat here real quick. Oh, Keela says, nice merch. Thank you. Thank you, Keela. I appreciate that. I have not looked into that, Keyless. I think I went on the website once, but other than that, I have not. Happy Good Friday. That's right. It is Good Friday, fam. It is Good Friday. How blessed are we? The Muskegon Aristocats in the building. What's going on, bro? Crypto says, hey, CJ. What's up with you, Crypto? That's right, Keyless. Keyless says, hit the likes, please, good people. There you go. Do me a favor and hit that like button on the way in, guys. That'd be really, really awesome. We always like to have just as many likes as we got viewers in the stream. XRP Shillionaire says Ripple's target market isn't retail, though. That's right. Ripple's is not. But it is a public blockchain. We get the programmability that we need. And, you know, we ask the question all the time, who is going to be the Aave of the XRPL? Who's going to be the Uniswap of the XRPL? Ripple is focused on institutions, and good for them. Good for them. But I'm interested in retail. So if Ripple is not interested in retail, I'm not interested in Ripple. I want to see the retail win. Miss Crypto. What's going on, Miss Crypto? Happy Friday. Hold on a second. No, that's not Miss CryptoCeej, is it? So it says Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you. Retail deserves to win, CJ. Absolutely, Keyless. That is it. People keep getting hoodwinked and bamboozled. So yes, it's me, haha. So it is you. Why is it that does that not say Miss CryptoCeej? Why does it not say that? So you know what I mean? We want retail to win in this space. The blockchains that have gone cray-cray have not catered to institutions, right? You can't name me a blockchain that institution drove the adoption of the blockchain. Devon Steve says it's the old money trying to keep us out, right? And like it's been, if we want to say 2009, it's 16 years. Tell me about the blockchain that has won adoption because institutions came into the mix. I tell people this all the time. I ask them to name me the blockchain that institutions drove the adoption of that blockchain. Bitcoin's blockchain wasn't driven by institutional adoption. Ethereum's blockchain wasn't driven by institutional adoption. Tell me about the early institution in the early days of Ethereum that drove that adoption. I mean, BlackRock just got on there, and so did Undo Finance, right? Institutions don't drive blockchain adoption. Retail does. Historically, that's been it, right? You can look at the numbers and see. But what Ripple is doing is one project on the XRPL, and they are definitely, you know, making that blockchain very regulatory compliant. That's, you know, it's important, and that's good for Ripple. It's definitely good for Ripple. And look, they're working on programmability. We can't say that they're not. You know, one could argue that it took a minute, but we can't argue that they're not they're not adding programmability to the XRPL. They are doing that. That's what I'll question. They're, you know, the devs over there are working on programmability, and they're working on making the process to adding programmability less restrictive, time consuming, jumping over hoops, right? Because there's developers who want to add more programmability to the XRPL so that we can get an Aave of the XRPL, right? XRP Shillionaire, right? So that we can get the Aave of the XRPL. So they are working on that, and I think that's awesome. It's going to be a little bit. It's going to be a little bit. In the meantime, we get the XRPL EVM sidechain, and we're gonna have to look at that and see what that's going to bring. We're going to see what that's going to bring, but I can't wait to find out about the Aave, the freaking compound finance or the Uniswap of the XRPL with the programmability necessary to be a money market fund like Aave. I mean, I'm telling you, when that happens, that's going to be the game changer for retail and for the adoption of the chain, right? When more developers see that there's programmability available and they can leverage anything of value in 3 to 5 seconds for less than a penny, and they can share this with their customers, and they can build a product or a D app that's fast and it's quick and it's inexpensive. I'm telling you, that's going to be the game changer. I believe developers are in line, waiting in line for that programmability so they can hop on this thing. Our guy, Austin King, said he's been having a lot of talks with projects wanting to tap into the Ripple dollar stablecoin. All right, so I covered that. Let me see here. What else before I share the screen? Do me a favor, hit that like button on the way in, guys. That'd be awesome. If you didn't get a chance to do it yet, no worries. Just collapse the chat real quick. Go smash that like button, then come back and hang out with the CryptoCeej fam. And if you happen to be in that 55% or so of people that are hanging out, listening to, and watching the CryptoCeej, do me a favor. If you've been enjoying those hangouts, please consider subscribing to the channel. We're in a mad dash to get to 9,000 subs by the end of this month. And I know we can get there, especially with your help. Now, let's go over this interesting post about the price of the FLR token. This is from King. I said King somebody else. King Karam. King Karam says this. FAssets aren't just a feature. They're a catalyst. Once they go live, FLR is primed to move. Full interoperability plus staking plus real yield equals at least 50 cents per FLR token, in my opinion. FLR isn't sleeping. It's loading. And look at the FLR price there, still a penny. Makes me wonder. So many of these things in the portfolio at 70% loss, 80% loss. It's crazy. Oh, that reminds me, I need to get the Cosmos. Stuff and get more FLR with that. Been staking in the Cosmos ecosystem, get some more FLR tokens from that. Remind me, Keyless, to do that. Miss CryptoCeej checked in. Hanging out, checking out the live stream. I'm telling you, I'm loving. I think Miss CryptoCeej was saying that this hat will look really good, Devon, Steve. Look good on you. That's a good look. I like it. All right. So what do you guys think about that FLR 50 cents? I mean, does it make sense that you get the FXRP going live You got staking of XRP, you got real yield. It seems to me that 50 cents is certainly, in my view, inevitable. And my gosh, Devon Steve, I say this all the time. It feels as though Flare Network, the layer one EVM blockchain, focused on a blockchain for data and a mission of true decentralization, true scalability, and true security, is the promise that was Ethereum. What happens when Flare Network's blockchain gets the onslaught of developers like Ethereum had, thus creating this crazy demand for the FLR token? RL Internet Corporation, what's going on, my friend? DApps being developed on the XRP EVM sidechain. Yes, they are. That is exactly right. They're uplining, waiting. I hope that it creates demand for the native asset XRP Internet Corporation. I hope it does. What's going on, Crawfish? How are you, brother? How are you? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing. We want retail to win here, right? We want retail to win. We want less intermediaries, not more intermediaries. Right? That's kind of how I see it. That's how retail wins. That's how retail wins. Is how I see it. Less intermediaries, more decentralization. But you can't sacrifice security, and you certainly don't want to sacrifice scalability. How are you going to reach the masses if you can't scale? The only team that I'm aware of that's focused on true decentralization, scalability, and security is Flare Labs, Flare Networks, the team there. That's the only one I see. So that would be cool. 50-cent FLR would be awesome. I mean, just how cool is it though? I said this before. I just feel like I'm not pressed about the price. I'm excited for the future of Flare Networks and what it's building out. And to me, that is just such a great feeling. All the other stuff, I look at my portfolio and it's, crazy numbers, percentages down. Don't know if these numbers will ever recover. Keela says, amen, CJ. The less middlemen, the better, with some but minimal and proper government regulation. That's right. That's how I see it. Peter wants to know, how long does an audit take? I'm not really sure, Peter, to be honest with you. Welcome to the stream. I know Polaris in some audit, Flare Networks is in some audit process. I'd imagine it's just weeks, though. I think Hugo had mentioned that he was going to post. They were pretty much wrapped up. He was going to post the results here when they do wrap it all up. So she said, "Yes, it's me." Ha ha ha. So that's interesting to say the least, right? FLR 50 cents is crazy. How many of you guys are participating in the Flare Networks DeFi? Like whether it be Kinetic or SparkDex, Blaze Swap, Enosis Global. How many participating? I know I'm lending and borrowing on Kinetic. I know I'm providing liquidity on SparkDex. Still can't wrap my brain around Cyclo. I need my guys Whale 580. Well, it's this Senior. It's Senior. Senior Whale to hop in the stream and show me what's going on there. Figure that out. I don't quite understand it. Like I got a sense of how it works. I think I got over there and did a little something with the Cyclo ETH, but I don't even know what I did with it. Like you gotta like understand the concept, to how it works. The only part I understand is kind of liquidation free. You can borrow without this risk of being liquidation. But the whole purpose is to borrow and then eventually sell back. When and how and why are we doing that? Oh, I'm on Scepter as well. I forgot about that. Devon Steve says SparkDex and Scepter for me. Uh, you kicked what to the curb? Kinetic? Mix says, what's good, Keyless? What's going on, Mix? How are you, my friend? How are you? So, that's kind of what it is right now. I'm participating in FLR networks, love it. We did a little DeFi lesson in the Patreon group about, the power behind lending and borrowing. Like, if you don't understand that power and the power that it gives you to lend your assets and borrow against it and participate in DeFi, it's a power. That's what the wealthy people do, by the way, right? Elon, right? He leveraged his assets to buy Twitter, right? 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 It's pretty much what MicroStrategy is doing. So we did some SUI stuff on Navi and Cetus, right? Lent assets, borrowed against it, went to a DeFi position on Cetus, where we earn fees, right? We earn fees for providing a service. We take those fees and we apply a strategy with the fees, right? Hanging in there, CJ. Just don't ask about Postchain. Mix says, hanging in there, CJ. Just don't ask about Postchain. Yeah, I hear you. Devon C says, yes, Kinetic. So you kick Kinetic to the curb. I hear you, bro. I hear you. I'm lending. I lent some stuff over there, some ETH, but and borrowed some stuff as well. Yeah, I hear you. Killers says I kind of burned out on the crypto hustle. I hear that. Brother Crypto's in the building. What's going on, CJ? Flare is going to be a monster. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Joe Buddy's in the building. What's going on, Joe Buddy? When there is a company that I don't understand that question, Joe Buddy. Using XRP as collateral, let me know. Is there anything? I don't know if there's anything that would let you use your XRP as collateral right now. I mean, Ripple's doing something and letting RLUSD be as collateral. The only utility that I'm seeing that I would trust is, without question, for XRP utility is Flare Networks. There you go. Keela says I'm accumulating my stablecoin bag and nurturing my existing important bags like FLR. Yeah, yeah, I hear you. That is a nice strategy for sure. That's definitely a nice strategy, right? I had to deplete my stablecoin bag month ago. Peter says a lot of risk to borrow volatile assets, is it not? Um, a lot of risk to borrow. Yeah, so you wouldn't borrow the volatile assets, right? So in this market, Peter, one of the things that we talk about and we teach on the channel is you have to know the market and you have to know the phase of the market that you're in, right? So in bull markets, or cycle, there are different strategies for lending and borrowing, as opposed to bear market or bear cycles. There's different strategies for that. So typically in the bull cycle, you lend assets and you borrow stable coins, right? So you lend assets. Obviously, if you got an asset, for example, Elon Musk didn't use all of his Tesla stock, right? He used a portion of his Tesla stock. So in DeFi, you do the same thing. You have a valuable asset that the market says is valuable. You lend a portion of the asset, but you borrow stable coins, right? And obviously you're paying attention to how much your borrow is, right? No one wants to max out the borrow, right? And typically the borrow rates are 40% LTV to 75, maybe 80% LTV in some cases, right? So you stay in a healthy range, right? 40 to 60% is generally a healthy range to stay in. But the key is understanding that, right? So you increase your knowledge so that you become less risky, right? It's the investor that's risky. It's not the concepts. It's the investor, right? So if you have, the more you up your knowledge, the less risky you become, right? And so if you understand the strategies and how to employ them, but now that you've lent an asset and you borrow stable coins, the question is, right? You don't borrow stable coins to go into traditional finance and um, buy a motorcycle, right? Buy a toy or tool, right? Buy a toy, right? And so the idea is, what are you doing with the stable coins now, right? The market says you have valuable assets. They let you borrow against it. You don't have to apply for it, right? It's no credit check. There's no sitting at a desk being interviewed by someone to see whether or not you're worthy, right? So it's none of that. So you take the stable coins. The key is what you do with the money that you borrowed, right? That's the key. What are you going to do with those borrowed stable coins? There's a couple of things. You could take some of that stable coins and you can buy more of that valuable asset. Well, why would you do that? Because it's a valuable asset, right? And then you could add more to that deposited asset, right? So if you deposit ETH and you borrow stable coins, you can take some of the stable coins and buy more of that asset because of the cycle that you're in. So you redeposit more. So, right. So now you got more of that asset that, by the way, is earning money and is still capturing asset appreciation because of the cycle that it's in. Right. And then you can take the other portion of that stable coins and you can apply it into DeFi strategies, right? Like liquidity pools and probably more preferential concentrated liquidity pools where they give you more value for being in liquidity pool, right? So it's kind of de-risking yourself, leveling up your knowledge, and knowing the right strategy and when the strategy, right? So bear cycle is a completely different strategy than a bull cycle. It's completely different. But both of those, you can increase your net worth. Bear cycle, you can increase your net worth, and bull cycle, you can increase your net worth, right? So for me on this channel, we say all the time, Peter, that I believe we're on a journey of becoming a sophisticated investor, not traders, not short-term, long-term traders, right? Those lose. Traders, 90-something% lose. So you want to be a long-term investor and a sophisticated investor. So you got to level up your skill set, right? You got to level up your skill set. That's the most important thing, right? So my mentor used to say, investing is not risky. Investors are risky, right? Aquarius answering. I love that name. What's going on, my friend? Hey, CJ, I'm definitely stacking Jewel and looking forward to Kinetic offering borrowing and lending for FAssets. I hear you, bro. I hear you. You like Kinetic, huh? Were you able to, Aquarius answering, were you able to lend an asset and borrow stable coins on Kinetic? I just got to tell you. I just got to tell you. Just got to tell you. I can't seem to get in that little short 2-minute window to lend. So much can go wrong. There is upside to HODL. Yeah. And so that's part of a DeFi strategy, right? HODLing is part of a DeFi strategy. But I would ask you to consider, Peter, reading the book Ergodicity. I would ask you to consider reading that book by Lucas. What's his name? Delana. Hold on. Let me grab that. All right, I'm getting this book for you. There it is right here. Oh, let me share. Let me share. Peter says, I'm a bricklayer. Yeah. You seem well read. Well, thank you. Well, yeah, I'm a street kid from Brooklyn. So, right. All right, let me share. Let me share. I don't need to share. Why do I think I need to share? What's going on? Here's this book right here. It's called Ergodicity by Luca Delana. How Irreversible Outcomes Affect Long-Term Performance. It's a great book. Now, this book was recommended to me by Guy Spier, S-P-I-E-R, who is a Warren Buffett student and hugely successful, world-renowned investor. Yep, Ergodicity. It's a really, really good book. It'll help you. Some food for thought for sure. Yeah, that's right. Keyless right there. Keyless says, nice, Peter. A craftsman, rare breed nowadays. That's right. Indeed. Indeed. That indeed. So people forget. People forget sometimes what the real deal is. Like people forget. Yeah, the infrastructure players are some of the biggest players in this space. I mean, the biggest value add to the world are the infrastructure players, right? It's hard to get brick houses made without bricklayers. It's hard to do. Corey's answer says, I've only done lending so far, no borrowing. Gotcha. Currently lending Jewel back to Kinetic via the ISOs market, which earns yield in RFLR. I hear you, bro. Yeah, nice. Yes, I hear you, my friend. Got a strategy. I love it. Yeah, I love it. So, the long and the short of it is for sure, right? I joke around saying we all need to de-risk ourselves because my mentor taught me long time ago that there's no such thing as a risky investment. It's just risky investors, right? If you're aware of the risk and you know how to mitigate them, you can mitigate them. I don't know if you completely wipe them out, but if you have strategies behind it, like then you can become a value investor. And ergodicity in that book, just to share with you, it says it's riskier in not taking risk. Yeah, in the book it says that it's riskier in not taking risk. There's opportunity cost there, right? So what's going on? Oh, I thought that was someone new. It's not. So in any case, just wanted to share with you guys. Yeah, highly recommend you check it out, bro. Luca Delana, he's written some interesting books. But I got turned on to him by the Wall Street guy, the Warren Buffett guy. That's right, Keyless. There it is. I love that. I love that you said that. Keyless says, man, I see the huge achievements of man and things that man has built in history. And I remain in awe. 99.9% of it by strong and able men. Indeed. And I am thankful for the Peters of the world. Indeed. Indeed. Yeah. You want some payment? Peter says, I want some payment in some FLR. Yeah. Well, if you participate on Kinetic, BlazeSwap, SparkDex, just to name some few, you get the FLR rewards for participating. And if you participate on the LPs on SparkDex, you get those FLR rewards as well, right? That's what I want, right? I want more of that FLR. And that's what happens when you participate in liquidity pools. But right now, on SparkDex, it's just a major incentive stuff kind of going on. You got flare drops, right? They're awesome. Flares, I said this before, Ripple should be paying close attention to how Flare networks pulled off their liquidity incentive and event. It's pretty awesome. Well, yeah, so you can stake. Yeah, Keyless, you can stake your FLR, right? One popular DApp is Bifrost, where you can just stake FLR. You can just stake it, right? Yeah, so that's kind of like you're just staking your FLR tokens. It's a lot. And you can also stake with Scepter. It's liquid staking, but it's a form of staking, right? Where you earn right now 44% APY for doing that, right? With Scepter, all you do is you go to Scepter, you hook up your particular wallet, you choose the amount of FLR you want to stake, and there it is. The advantage to Scepter is it's liquid staking as opposed to regular staking. Regular staking, things are generally locked up for a period of time, 7 days, 14 days, 21 days before you can unlock them. Typically, that is not the case. I don't think that's the case with staking FLR. I only staked FLR one time for about a month. So I don't remember if there's a cooldown to getting your FLR back from staking. I don't remember. Someone probably knows. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So Scepter, Keyless, I use Bifrost, and via Bifrost wallet, use SparkDex and Scepter. Yep. You just gotta go to the app section, and I think you bookmark Scepter, and then you can go there. Yep. Devon C says, Keyless, I use Bifrost, and via Bifrost wallet, use SparkDex and Scepter. John Edwards, what's going on, bro? Appreciate you checking in. CJ, how are things, brother? Diamond Hands since 2017. Yes, sir. That makes two of us, my friend. Hilo says, thanks, Devon. Yeah, I'll use Bifrost also. I'll bookmark those. I appreciate it, CJ and Devon. Yep. Yeah. I mean, I love it. And what I do personally, I just take it to another level, right? And so I took my FLR and I use Scepter and got the SFLR. And I take the SFLR and I go into a liquidity pool. That's just me. But I go into a liquidity pool with WFLR, right? Because if you understand DeFi, that's essentially the same assets. So it's like stable coins, although it's not stable coins. There's a little bit of a difference between the FLR, the SFLR, and wrapped FLR. There's a little bit of difference. And I'm in those liquidity pools. So I don't have to worry about the appreciation. I don't have to worry about the assets not moving in tandem, right? So I will take a less APR to be in a more stable liquidity pool, but I still get a chance to earn fees and earn the RFLR there, right? And I get it. There's a single asset pair with USDC that is so FLR USDC, SFLR USDC, WFLR USDC. I get it. The APR is more, right? I get it. But you got to understand that there's now opportunity cost when the asset appreciates. And the idea is the fees offset the opportunity cost. Some people call it impermanent loss. So um, there's that. So that's right. The FLR drops are almost done. John says, I should be working for Ripple since 2017. I have managed to educate the world, the working class regarding the XRPL and XRP. Whoop, whoop. I hear you, my friend. John Edwards, yeah, you should be working for Ripple. 2,000 people invested by word of mouth. 2,000? That's strong. Yeah, I don't know. Peter asked about the difference in price for doing multiple swaps as opposed to one big swap. I don't know. I don't do a whole lot of swapping on Bifrost. I generally go to Spark Dex or some to swap, or if I'm on Kinetic, I'll use Kinetic to swap. But I generally use Spark Dex for my swapping. Holy cow, Keela says. Yeah, 2,000. That's a big number. So that's the word on the street from our guy, King Karam. Is it Karam? I think it was Karam. I might have gotten rid of it. Did I get rid of that? No. This is the word on the street. Let me share this one more time before I hop off here. 50 cents. Full interoperability plus staking plus real yield equals at least 50 cents per FLR, in my opinion. 50 cents. FLR tokens. FLR isn't sleeping, it's loading. That's a really nice way to put it. That's right, Keyless. The flare drops are about to come. I mean, January is going to be here before you know it. January will be here before we know it. That's the end of flare drops. That's the end of flare drops. So we should understand that. Won't be around forever. What's going on, Rick Cisneros? Rick Cisneros says, remember both XRP and the XRPL are tough to explain. Even smart people do not understand it. This is why we are early to the game. Indeed, most people don't understand it. For sure. I think that Hashkey XRP fund is interesting for Asia. Ripple invested in it. There's the initial investor in that. It's interesting to see, but again, it's still institutional focused. I'm not interested in institutions and institutional focus. I want retail. I want the individual. I want the masses to win. Not interested in empowering more institutions to collect fees for products. We need less of them, not more of them. Oh, I forgot. I was supposed to share. I didn't do it on X, John. But remember the hidden road thing? I have been doing live stream after live stream, and I'm like, I'm just not getting this whole hidden road thing. And I didn't see any value to the XRP holder. So Ripple, in case you didn't know, Ripple recently purchased for $1.25 billion this prime broker called Hidden Road. And by the way, Hidden Road just got a broker dealer license approval from FINRA, right? Which is interesting, the timing of that, or the timing of the announcement, however way you want to look at it. But in any case, I'm trying, David Schwartz and Brad Garlinghouse, Monica Long, going around talking about Hidden Road and how it's going to be valuable for XRP and the XRPL. And I'm like, I'm not getting this. Like, where is that value? How is this value going to work? And I remember David Schwartz saying something about the type of activity. And so I've been kind of playing around with this thought of remember that the XRPL is going to be heavily involved in the tokenization of real world assets. So I was thinking to myself, and I'm going to do some more on it. I'm thinking to myself, um, um, BlackRock's tokenization of everything, BlackRock's tokenization of everything, Ripple's tokenization on the XRPL, and the XRPL moving anything of value. And when you kind of put all three of those together, I can see where the demand for XRP comes from. I'm going to get my thoughts together. So that's the liquid staking with Timmy, not direct staking. It's liquid staking. So that's 44%. So I'm trying to wrap my brain around kind of that. Because I think what I'm thinking is BlackRock's tokenization of everything. He talks about all these different things. He's talking about the XRPL getting involved in this real world assets and tokenization of real world assets, and the XRPL moving anything of value in 3 to 5 seconds for less than a penny. I think somewhere between those is where you're going to get the value to the XRP holder, because it's going to be tokenization of everything and the XRP moving anything of value. That's what's going to be the key. So, in other words, what I can possibly see is in this tokenization of stuff on RWAs, there'll be some projects that come from this thing being tokenized, and that thing being tokenized, and this other thing being tokenized. And those things should be DApps specializing in such a thing. Does that make sense? For example, right? Why would there not be a gold tokenization DApp on the XRPL? That's what I'm kind of thinking. Timmy, did that make sense about where the 44% comes from? Crypto. So what about Songbird? Look, remember, one of the major protocols for FAssets is going to remain on Songbird. You should just understand that. So one of the FAssets, I think it's 1.1, is going to remain on Songbird. So the way I see that is, people that want to hang out on Songbird with their Songbird in the FAsset kind of ecosystem can use that as collateral. So Songbird is going to have more value to it. And I think that's going to be the start of protocols that will remain on Songbird. So it's kind of how I see that. I guess Timmy is not here. But yeah, so there it is, fam. I'm going to wrap this thing up. I appreciate you guys. Kayla says, awesome. Yeah, so appreciate you guys checking in. Do me a favor, if you didn't get a chance to hit the like button on the way in, please do so on the way out. Did somebody say they lost some FLR? Sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear you lost that much like that, brother Crypto. That's crazy. I don't know what price Crypto says. Crypto asks, what price do you think Songbird will get to? I'm not sure. Like, I don't know. I just trying to pay as much attention as possible to how valuable the network is becoming. So guys, do me a favor, hit that like button on the way, hit that like button on the way out. That'd be really, really awesome. What's going on, Aaron Medina? I appreciate you guys checking in. And again, if you happen to be in that 55% or so of people that are hanging out, listening to and watching the CryptoCeej, do me a favor. If you've been enjoying those hangouts, please consider subscribing to the channel. And don't forget to ring that notification bell so that you know whenever we go live or whenever we upload a video. I'm going to end this one like I do all my videos and remind you guys of this. Old money doesn't want you to win. But that's okay, though, because you and I, we're already winning. And I would ask you to consider this or perhaps ponder the idea or notion of living your life permissionless. I'll talk to you guys soon. See ya. Bye. Says CJ. Always remember RWA and multi-purpose tokens, meaning you can take the value of the RWA, borrow, and lend from the liquidity into its pools. That's right. It's a great point. It's a great point, Pete. My guy, Rick Cisneros. It's a great point. Let me do this. Take that. It's a great point. You always have some great points, bro. It's a great point. And that's why I'm wrapping my whole head around Hidden Road, the XRPL, tokenizing everything, moving anything of value. And I think this is where it's going, RWAs on the XRPL is going to play to retail. A DApp for the tokenization of gold, a DApp for the tokenization of whatever, right? Being able to lend an asset, right? And being able to borrow against it, right? My key is going to be these DApps that come into the XRPL with retail in mind, retail in focus. Thank you, Peter. We'll do. All right, fam. Thank you so much for hanging out. I'll talk to you guys soon. We'll see you. Bye.